Good morning, fellow traders. Bubblehead here, and it's time for the Good Morning Market Prep for Monday, March 9th, 2020. I hope everybody had a great night and a great weekend. This is brought to you by Positive Trends Research, and everything we're going to talk about today is for educational purposes only and not investment advice, so please take a moment to review this disclaimer. Awesome. All right, let's check and see where we left off the market on Friday. So here's the monthly chart, right? We finished with the doji. Right now, S&P futures are halted and down. We'll take a look at those in a little bit, but expecting a little bit of a gap down here on the market. So we should be seeing roughly, 145 point down move or so. But we'll see where they open it. They could gap down another 2% before a halt. Let's take a look and see weekly chart last week, right? We had this Harami cross right here inside Harami doji. On the weekly chart, which we saw kind of similar back here below the 30 weekly moving average. So obviously now we're going to see a gap down here in the market. Next levels down basically are the August levels right here. So you're about like 2880. The S&P futures closed at 2819. I'm sorry, 2820. The S&P futures closed at 2820. We're about 2819. I think is the low. Actually, 2822 is the August low here, 2019. Whew, lots of 19s and 20s. Okay, so we should see this level perhaps being tested today. The next level down below here on the weekly chart is 2728. That's the June lows. So we'll see if those get tested as well. And then of course, back all the way down to December there before the Christmas reversal. And so daily chart, we finished with basically a weak hammer, right? So we couldn't quite fill the gap yesterday. They tried to push it up into the close on Friday. Kind of left that hanging man type feel up here that was just in the distance, and then left that upper shadow. So again, we've been bearish until proven otherwise, right? The trend has definitely shifted. We're below all the major trend lines right here, and although it tried to get above all this, it did reject the upper trend line and the 200-day moving average. So it's got some work to do if it wants to get back up there. Now we'll see what it has in store for today. Let's take a look at the SPY and just see how that closed. Similar, not as much as a hammer right here, so just but a thick real body. Again, couldn't quite fill its gap either. Let's take a look at the S&P futures. So S&P futures, this is where we closed yesterday. I mean, it was pretty rough. This is just last night, right? So this candle right here, almost 100-point range last night, but it was enough to trigger a circuit breaker halt for the limit down. So basically hit a 5% down move yesterday. You can see it here, it's like 4.89, but it hit 5%. So they closed it right there at 28.19 last night. This morning, they're going to open it up, and then once it opens up at 9:30, we'll see if they halt it again. It's got 2% more to go for a 15-minute halt, and that would be a level 1 halt for today. And then we got, if we're down 13% today off of Friday's close, then we'll see a level 2 halt for another 15 minutes, and if we hit 20%, they shut the market down. So we'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, it looks like it really looks like it wants to test those August lows there. Perhaps at the open, it might hit that really quickly. If it does, it might give us a little bit of room there to not trigger the halt, but we'll see. And we'll also see if they decide to gap it up too for any of the futures holders that got caught short before the halt. So that could be interesting as well. So let's take a look and see what else is going on in the market here this morning. You can see here we're just kind of chopping, we're halted here on the ES. But it'd be interesting if they did gap it up. Let's take a look here and see what else we got going on. So another one we could look at here pre-market is SPY. Right, so SPY is not halted right now, so it's basically just kind of chopping around here this morning. We'll see how that behaves and how that reacts to the once the futures market opens back up again. Apple is pretty active this morning. It's down about 27 points this morning, so that's a pretty big down move. It's got some work to do to get to fade that gap, but it did try to recover a little bit here this morning. Let's see, Tesla is also pretty active this morning. A lot of times we see this act inverse the market, but it is down as well. Obviously, this is not immune to any of the effects of the supply chain issues of the coronavirus. So we'll continue to look at these stocks here. Tesla could be interesting. One of the ones that is up this morning is mRNA, Moderna. Okay, so that's gapping up here. It's one of the coronavirus vaccine plays. Had a pretty decent close on Friday. Nice candle right here, gapping above all, or closed above the previous levels. The only reason, you have a little resistance right here, which gave it a little bit of a reason for pause, but it is gapping up nicely here this morning. Guild is another one that has been on the radar, but it's down a little bit here pre-market. See if that gets a little rally today for you. It had a strong close on Friday, as you can see here. Big candle, close over all these key levels, and good volume too. So let's see if they rally that one up as well. Also, of interest is the gold futures. So let's take a look here. So right now, let's see, on the daily chart, we pushed up a little bit last night, but this came back down a little bit too as well. But this gold should most likely be in play today. Again, it gapped up last night. It looks like yeah, last night, and then and here we are just kind of chopping around to pre-market. So we'll see about relatively flat here from yesterday or from Friday's close. Not really much going on with earnings this morning. We have Thor Industries. Some folks like to trade this one, so keep an eye on this one, see how that behaves today. Could be an interesting one. We also have really key is the oil futures, right? So this is a big deal, like price manipulation, but Saudi Arabia. So it is recovering a little bit off of the lows. 30 was the number yesterday. It's above that now. So we've got a hammer right here, kind of forming, but it's red still. So this should be interesting. We'll see. Oil should definitely be in play today as well. We do see we got a little bit of a bounce off that this morning, but it's not getting really above the nightly highs. So a couple of ones that to kind of keep an eye on right now. XOM obviously could be interesting. So that's down this morning. Oxy is another one that's down too, and then finally APA is another one that has been a relatively interesting oil play recently. So that is down as well. So good stuff, guys. I hope everybody has a great trading day today. We'll be live at the open at 9:15, evaluating to see if these circuit breaker halts come in at all, and we'll be watching. We'll be on top of it. So hope everybody has a great day. We'll see you guys at the lunchtime market update, and remember your risk first and stay safe so you can stay in the game. We'll talk to you soon.